it's been really important to tell a story in a visual way. I think there's been a lot of movement and education in rare disease space that has been done through papers and physicians and patients. But I think, and somebody mentioned at the film how, you can lose people sometimes with certain sorts of topics or long format ways of communicating. And movies bring a bit of a different way in to tell that story. They tend to be more emotional. They tend to be able to really capture the reality of the world. And, they sort of allow the viewer to consume that information at their own rate in ways that sort of works for them. So it's been a really great medium to sort of use to tell the story. And the film festival was a great idea to bring that format to life. It allows you to add different perspective. It allows you to kind of hone into the different topics of the rare disease space. So that's been really great. And in terms of the rare disease space and why this is sort of important, the film or the storytelling, I think it's been something that's been around for so long, but I think we're now finally moving towards the space where advocates and patients are coming together to really speak in a loud voice and tell their story in a way that's not really been heard before. I think there's been, a long time ago, a lot of stigma attached to a lot of rare diseases, a lot of the unknown, fear, and I think we're finally in a place where people are willing to speak up, and the realization that in rare disease space, the advocates and the patients are the ones owning that movement, and they're the ones having to bring that story to life. And so these kinds of films allow the patients and advocates to really tell their story from their perspective, all parts of their story, because I think sometimes in different kind of communications, the similar things come to the surface and not enough of the other elements. But anyone, being part of the film, being part of the families, you realize there's so many different elements to anyone going through a rare disease, and there's so many nuances, things that they struggle with. But when it comes down to different formats, you're only able to tell one part of that story. And I think the film has allowed everyone to speak to some of the parts that we don't really pay attention to, but they do add up and they make a big difference.